right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back tonight. We're playing more Swords of the Serpentine. It's a game about family. It's a game about family. Let me tell you a little about my sister for a second here. My sister just texted me and asked me if when we were in high school, she was a senior, I was a freshman, if she used to drive me to school in the Firebird, right? What she doesn't remember is that this is the Firebird that she literally stole from me and still has no concept or memory of that. And this is, I don't know how many years later, decades later. So, family, right? Isn't it great? Don't you guys love each other?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. The eldest sibling gets claimed everything you own.
She was the middle, so she shouldn't have gotten shit. Right? My oldest sister had already moved out. So I was like, but I was the youngest.
To be fair, I did fleece everything from my brother.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had siblings to steal stuff from.
Melissa too. Yeah. Anyhow, but
so you're saying I should steal stuff from Melissa?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go for it. Just make sure you steal her shit, not my shit. That's all.
Done.
So, okay. So you
gee, thanks.
You'll get like purple planner books and stuff. Another funny story. We were talking about Florida. We were gonna another funny story years ago. This is years ago, where I'm meeting her best friend for the first time ever. I don't know. We were at like a Denny's or some shit, and I think it was your birthday, right? And she brought you a gift, and before you opened it, the two of you were talking, and you were complaining about constantly getting like purple planners and stuff like that.
I was talking.
It's a fucking purple planner.
Yes. I was talking about how I was about to start like needing this for like grad school stuff, and how I should really make sure that I'm professional and I don't have like a brightly colored notebook to take in. And yes, open mouth, insert butt.
Nothing like that. When you've just already, you can't take it back.
It's too late. Like you got to wait until after you open the present because you never know what's going to be. Crazy.
Yeah.
Made it easy for me because you look like the asshole that night. And I was he's nice by comparison. He didn't insult me. Look at that. So turned out well for me.
At our wedding.
There you go. There you go. Anyhow, as you can see, we are down in Aaron tonight. Aaron, get better, man. And we'll hopefully have him next week. But we will push on nonetheless, as there are things that happened last week as we picked up our new arc. This is our third arc. So far we basically our campaign has spanned effectively 10 years, give or take, from where we started. As we picked up last time. So we ready to get going? Everyone feeling good? We learned things. We learned that a couple people got families now. I had Chauncey and Solovita separately had kids, which is crazy. Vincent is still not with the family. And Fortuna is a really asshole of a customer at a restaurant. Who would have known? Look at that.
You know what?
I want free stuff.
We had like no wealth in between this time. So like anywhere she can go and cash in that main wall and special, that is happening for sure.
I'm getting those dots on my text right now. So my sister's sending me yet another text. So I'm very excited to find out what this bullshit revisionist history is going to be in a second. Anyhow, we'll see. Okay. So last time around was the first episode of House That Was. That's the new arc. 5 years have passed since the previous arc where the Saltbound assassinations were happening. In that time, you all kind of scattered a little bit. Arkadiy, he separated himself from the family somewhat. He rose in the ranks of a thieves guild that is called Sons of Corvid, took control of a fighting pit near Sac Harbor. He didn't really spend time at the estate, but he did make sure to keep an eye on Fortuna, always making sure one of his people was kind of guarding her along the way. Chauncey, you settled down, made an honest woman out of Valentina Scarpaccio, and you had 2 children with her. You also brought along 2 of the servants, Paulina and Matteo, who I think is the one you saved from the tower collapse. Solovita, you wed, and you also had children, but you kept them away from the larger family, which is probably smart. You also took Etta, who was the one who was complicit somewhat in kidnapping your matriarch, but also kind of got screwed over in the process. took her under your wing, and you're the two of you have been working to try to repair some of the main wall and estate and such. Vincent, you stayed with the last college. You ensured that Ludovica and some of the other sorcerers weren't going to seek any vengeance because what happened at the end of the last arc. And you also worked to prevent City Watch and Inquisitors of Denari from capturing sorcerers and sort of basically sending them off to the same prison cells that you spent a decade in. Fortuna, you were trying to rebuild the family a little bit more in the interim. So you were finding some closed off branches of the family tree. We'll get to one of those branches in a second. You created some alliances with some of the noble houses and powers across the city, and apparently restaurants. And it was pretty clear that you had risen in the ranks within the family, and you seemed to pose a clear equal rival to Althavira, whereas for a while she was sort of the de facto heiress to the matriarch position. It's been the rainy season and ever since, so things were getting really ugly. The canals were filling, bodies were popping up. There's a new pox that's spreading around the city, all that kind of good stuff. And as you were going about your daily lives, each of you was paid a visit by a very strange man, but a familiar man, Alexander Dumas, who is the mad hermit of Giglio Hill, your family's neighborhood. He brought each of you an invitation to pay final respects to Eliana, and most importantly, select a new matriarch because she was literally on her deathbed. Arkadiy managed to ply him a little bit with booze and learned a little bit about that selection process, saying it has to be unanimous and that the house has to accept the choice. Solavita, you managed to ask him a few questions about if he followed Borda, and he basically said yes. Then after that, everyone kind of assembled at the manor. We also saw various other nobles and city power players and such had come by. They were paying their respects, all that kind of stuff. We had a little moment with Vittorio Bonaventure, who is like your family's primary rival, who was giddy and gleeful that he was outliving Eliana. Fortuna, you had apparently discovered, whether this is true or not, who knows, but that there was a family branch that revealed that Rendalio, who we know as Pispont Randy, apparently is like a very, very distant cousin. And so he was there in his beautiful bolo tie as well. Other significant people, Father Macaulay was there offering last rites. Etta came with Solavita. Valentina insisted on coming with Chauncey. And there are all sorts of other folks, that very familiar people that all of you would know, nobles and other dignitaries and such. Eventually, you all were brought into Eliana's chamber, and that's where both Fortuna and Althavira got on either side of the bed, both of them holding Eliana's hand as she breathed her last breath, literally died right in front of you. And right as she did, all the lights in the house snuffed out. So whether it was torches, lamps, lanterns, whatever it might be, all of them just snuffed out. And you all heard and felt the sounds of like an earthquake and sort of something rumbling at some point. And then when the lamps were relit, we heard some shouts of panic here and there. And inside Eliana's room, something had changed. The room had changed. The very shape had changed. And there was now a tall set of doors that was not there before on a separate wall. There was a variation of the family motto, which the motto, as far as you all have ever learned it, was embolden and endure. But this time it actually read a little bit longer: embolden the faith, endure the chains. And then the doors creaked open. So we are going to pick up basically in that moment. With the doors opening up, we hear the creak. We look over, and they're very tall. Think of them like, a good 12 feet tall doors. And they're rectangular, and etched around the frame is that motto. And as the doors open up, a few things happen. You can peer in, first of all, and you can see that there is some kind of dark antechamber. You can see these like black veined marble and symmetrical alcoves onto either side. You can see there's a central arch that's sort of straight ahead, and there's sconces here and there that are inverted, or they look like inverted torches, and like you can see the wax is dripping from them, and it's like hardening into these brittle curls. You can see the ceilings are quite high, which doesn't, again, make sense architecturally, and all the walls are fairly close, almost tipping together. And you can see through that archway on the other side of the antechamber, there is a larger room where there's some dimly lit light coming from it. While this is all happening, you can see that Father Macaulay is at the bedside, kind of delivering, having just delivered rites. You can see the leeches are doing final checks on Eliana to make sure she's okay. Fortuna, you feel a completely frozen hand touch your elbow, and you hear the sounds of Arkadiy's voice like whisper into your ear. I shall be back in a moment, Fortuna. I must check on something. And it is like somebody is putting a cube of ice, like a vice grip of ice, over your elbow as he grabs you. And then you look and you see he just disappears into the darkness back towards the public area of the house.
Fortuna kind of shivers at that, because she's kind of holding Eliana's hand. And then she kind of has that happen. And so she kind of literally, you would see her kind of shiver, and then, kind of look a little bit, and then kind of bring her eyes kind of right back to Eliana again.
And you can see she's most certain, the leeches have confirmed. You see them testing a few things here and there. And then they're kind of offering their condolences. You can see Father Macaulay is consoling Altavira on the other side. And other people in the room, it's mostly just Mainwall and families. You can see Pelletiers in here as well, like people that we would know, significant people we would know. A lot of the more extended branches that you had been recruiting, Fortuna, those weren't brought up into the room with you. What?
I would say that Fortuna is probably really paying attention to what Altavira is doing. So this is very intriguing to her, but also this is a moment. This is an important, noble moment. And so she is, I wouldn't say it's disingenuous, but she is kind of pushing the curious side of her down, and she is kind of moving into mourning. So she is, kind of grasping the hand and thanking the leeches, and kind of whispering final goodbyes, and that is where her focus is sort of in this moment, and the import and the weight of this moment.
With your points in Liar's Tell, you would be able to very easily read that Altavira is being quite performative. While she's not weeping by any stretch, but you can see her speaking quietly with Father Macaulay, the Denarii representative here, and thanking him for ensuring the passage of Eliana's soul to paradise, and that the family is in his debt. Great gratitude. And you can see that she's doing the same thing on the other side of the bed as you are, and speaking with one of the leeches and confirming everything. Very professional, but you can tell she's trying to put on airs to some degree.
And Fortuna's matching that energy for sure. Okay.
What about the rest of you? How are you all reacting to this? The lights just went out. There was an earthquake feeling, the sounds of distant crashing, all that kind of stuff going on.
All of the work that I've done on this building, Fortuna or Solavita is kind of noticing that Fortuna's doing her routine, and she's just checking the walls, checking this chamber that's kind of created, looking at making sure it's structurally sound.
I would say with your city secrets, you can tell that this room certainly looks different, in the sense that it's not just the obvious of the fact that there is a brand new set of doors that you've never seen before on one wall in here. But the sheer size of the room is bigger. You can see the dimensions don't seem to align with what you recall them to be. Not only that, the ceiling seems to be higher. And you can see that there's exposed rafters and beams that you're pretty sure weren't there before.
Yeah. She might even take a peek through that door that got created as she kind of just tries to calculate the walls and slopes.
So as you peek through into again, it's an antechamber. It's very dark in here, and you can tell that there's light coming from beyond it, what appears to be a much larger chamber that you can't quite see anything in it, but it's giving this dim light that comes through. Here, it's these extremely tall walls again and ceilings, and the architectural style is a little peculiar to you. It's not something that you see with regularity around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And more than that, Eliana's bedroom had a balcony that opened up onto the maze garden. And you don't see that any longer. Instead, there's this.
I'm going to stand kind of guard in front of this door, kind of waiting for essentially the intruders of this room, those not Manwallen, to kind of go away. And she's going to start kind of sketching out what it now looks like to look like she's doing something.
Okay. How are Vincent or Chauncey reacting in the moments after this blackout, the death of Eliana, the strange sounds, this appearance of this set of doors in an entire hall and room that shouldn't be there?
I know Chauncey's scared shitless of anything that's remotely sorceress. Showing potential, like some amount of actual concern for his wife. Like, it does seem like this is probably a good time, but it seems like a family thing. Probably a good idea to step outside. But you should go speak with Master Kojuju. He invited us to church, and after seeing that, I think maybe we should take him up on it. If you would share my thanks for his invitation, and just such a wonderful thing. I'm so glad that Fortuna's here. She is such a rock. I wish you could be by my side, but I'm so glad she's there. And he's gonna try and do a little bit of like rumor spreading by proxy through his wife. Like have her go to the Carduchios, who are very influential with the church, and kind of like spread some good vibes for Fortuna being the rock, the foundation of like when the house is crumbling, you rebuild on the rock, and Fortuna is the rock.
Do you have any points in scurrilous rumors?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. Do you want to make a spend to effectively start such a rumor campaign, like that, to have a tangible?
Yes, I would.
Make a point spend on that, and that is exactly what Valentina will do. She'll like look at you with these very sad, and she's like, "Are you sure you don't want me to stay? I'm very concerned."
I want you by my side more than anything, and yet sometimes you know how it is with these old. I want to abide by the way they do their traditions, and
well,
I don't think I could have made it to do it in the first place without you. And to be honest, you representing me out there will do far better than I could in my current state.
Of course,
you are my rock. Fortuna is the rock of this family, but you are the rock of our family, and I hope you can represent us out there.
Oh, Chauncey, my sweet, of course I will. And she she pulls your head down onto her shoulder, and she kind of like pats you on the back, and then she whispers, "I will take care of it. Do not worry." Like nice and quiet. I don't
know what I'd do without you.
And then she lets you go, and she gives you a little bit of a wink, and she wanders down and back, and like maybe she even like calls out to like the leeches or Father Macaulay to be like it is time to leave the family to their grief. Let them have this moment. And you can see like maybe one of the leeches like lingers back to like make sure everything's tidy, but the second one, like the assistant, kind of steps away. Macaulay is like looking at Althavira hesitantly, but eventually kind of relents as well, and they step out, leaving just all of you, Althavira and Pelletier. How's Vincent reacting in all of this?
I've been mainly staring at Eliana since I got in here, really just watching her pass. And then when the shaking happened, he would have looked around and went to inspect that new door chamber with Solovita.
Okay. Do you go inside of it, or do you do what like Solovita does and just kind of linger in the door frame where the door is open?
Yeah, I would have lingered in the door frame until you were ready. I would go in with others.
Okay. Vincent, I think one thing might catch your attention as you're standing here and you're looking at this stone frame around the door that has this family motto etched in. Your power, which you've always tapped into, are chains, and you've never heard this variation of it before. You've heard a very shortened version of it, but here it's actually referencing endure the chains, and you yourself have been using spectral chains as a sort of one of your primary spheres that you have been doing. And here it is now, engraved, not just painted, it's painstakingly carved into the stone, like it's been here for ages. What's he thinking?
Endure the chains. Sola Vita. I don't recall this motto.
No, it's definitely new. Just a few weeks ago we were in here and it definitely only said embolden and endure. Nothing about the extra bits.
Well,
Do you recognize more of it? Hold on.
Maybe I'm gonna do a quick flip through my great grandmother's
Okay.
skin book.
Okay. You always have to say it that way. Your great grandmother's skin book. Sounds like you're looking through her porn stash.
No, it's just made with her skin.
Honestly, that would be better. I'd be more okay with that.
Right? Some dated porn, but retro.
I'm trying
man,
to make it
vintage.
less creepy. It is very creepy. Let's look.
Okay.
And I'll kind of like lean over so Vincent can read over my shoulder.
Okay. Are you looking to see if this phrase is sort of represented anywhere in there?
Now that we've kind of experienced this event and passing, I'm looking for that phrase, and I'm kind of looking for maybe her talking about something like this happening before.
You do you think your mother was potentially in line to be a matriarch? Was she like like Fortuna?
So, Solavita's mother, Solavita doesn't know why, but Solavita's mother was older than Fortuna, and for some reason, the family decided to marry her outside of the family, but she would have been in line otherwise.
Okay. You don't. Okay. Do you? I would say just with Forgotten Lore, no spend necessary. You don't see that phrase pop up, but there is one thing that you see like kind of sketched in the margins that maybe you just never really paid attention to before. And as you're standing there in this doorway and you're looking through this dark chamber into the lit chamber in the distance, you hear a whisper begin to like waft in your direction. You think it's coming from there, and you see that it's almost reading this passage that you have turned open to, where in the margins of one of her pages, there's like a few words, and it says, speak, like speak. And then cull, so you hear cull. And then feast. And you can see that she's got these like question marks and stuff around, like she doesn't know what that means. And right as you're reading it, you hear the sounds of it being read verbally by whispers coming down the hall.
Oh, Vincent, do you hear that? Are there spirits about? I don't think I have that ability.
Eliana's might be lingering, but
Do you hear it though? The speak, call, feast?
it's faint.
Yeah, I think you would hear it. Sure.
A new chamber's revealed itself. Shall we go in?
Are the others?
Is all of the non-main Wallens gone? Essentially?
Yeah, we could say that if that's what you're waiting for. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Pelletier, Altavera are still there, so they're kind of interesting. And so, like, as the two of you are talking, you just hear like,
So what do we think this is over here? This is pretty interesting. I don't think I've seen this before. How curious.
Oh, you don't remember this door? It's been here for a while. I built it
Has
maybe
it now?
last year. Yeah. It was requested. A little bit of a change.
Well, this is very fine work. This is very fine work, Solavita.
thank you.
This is wonderful.
It took me a
Wow,
long time, yes.
Wow, I don't even recall you doing the work. I know you've been here with that little that friend of yours, but I don't
You
recall
definitely.
you.
Her name is Etta, by the way. I know you don't remember
Who?
her at all. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, we did have a
nobody
Henrietta who was working here for a little while. I remember.
Oh,
her,
different person
but
completely.
Etta, No,
Yeah. She's
sorry,
new.
doesn't ring a bell. Well, what is in here then? Since you created this door,
Well, why don't we explore and then you can see it while I explain it?
oh well,
Discovery by exploration. It's best to visually see it and experience it yourself,
well,
Why
wonderful,
spoil
wonderful.
a surprise?
After the two of you, yes, youth before age and
Oh, yeah.
wisdom.
Fortuna, Chauncey, we're going to show Pelletier the area that I was working on and designing last year. If you would like to come with.
And as you say all that, you turn around, you see Fortuna has come up behind you. Altavira has as well. And she's like, you didn't design this place. Don't be a fool.
Well, I could have.
You certainly have the skill, but this is not your work. This
No.
is something else.
This is old.
She's
Yes.
simply part of something greater. So great, such as yourself. We're so glad you're here.
And she looks at you, eyebrow raised, going really high into the forehead. The other one staying down as if she's bridging. And finally she says, well, Vincent, since your return, make yourself useful. And she kind of motions forward.
Come on, Arkadiy. It's time for us to go. And Solovita will grab Chauncey. Come on, Arkadiy.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you're here. Oh, wonderful. Oh, hello, Archie. Oh, I'm so good to see you. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, well.
Agreed. I don't know how to get through such a trying time without my clearly mentor.
You flatter me. You flatter me, son. You flatter me. Oh, you very much do. So very kind of you. What a wonderful family we have, Altavir, isn't it?
And Altavir turns to him.
You nitwit. That's Chauncey. It's like, what? No, of course it isn't. This is Arkadiy, Altavir. I think you've had a little too much to drink tonight.
And he looks over at Chauncey and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Be kind.
Yes, that's true.
Traumatizing event.
We'll
show some grace.
Yeah, Altavir is like, there is our dead matriarch 20 feet behind us in her bed. So show some decorum, please. Now, Vincent, onward,
we'll show
please.
all the grace to our dear aunt.
And I'll lead the way.
Okay.
I love Pelletiers in on calling her a drunk. That makes me so happy.
He's the lush, dude.
I genuinely love Pelletier. He is the most ridiculous.
I missed his initial introduction, but at this point, Chauncey loves him.
He's so ridiculous. I love him. Okay, you push through this antechamber. You got these alcoves left and right. They just seem empty. You can see this place is untouched by light, really, other than the slight bit of light coming out of this central arch that you approach, Vincent. And when you look inside, you can see that the it's vaulted, it's continued, and you can see there's some of those arches are kind of coated in soot, and you can see these thin ribs of stained glass high along the ceiling. And while there's not really patterns that are being seen, you could just see that they're kind of casting these muted colors down at various spots around the room, just tones like grays and blues and golds. And you can see the room is lit at the far end by what looks like a fireplace, a fairly ornate fireplace, flickering with a kind of a modestly stoked flame, and there's shadows kind of dancing here and there. But what really stands out, that along the wall, starting immediately at the threshold and curving out around and towards that fireplace in the far end, there are large portraits, literally the size of a person, a good 6 feet tall, a few feet wide. Large portraits that have been hung on the walls, and they continue down both walls. You can see they're in very strict, well-measured rows. You can see they've got these gold frames that are surrounding oil paintings. You can see their subjects are bright, they're well-preserved, and they're all women. And they're all dressed in these various formal attire. Because they each has a nameplate beneath it. And you also see marble pedestals standing underneath and in front of each of these each of these portraits. And on each pedestal, you can see there is this large bronze bust. And at the far end, nearest to the, actually right above this sort of grandiose fireplace, there is a blank canvas. But everything else seems to be filled with women of relative age, all grandly dressed. And that is what you see.
Can I skim some of the nameplates that are under
Absolutely.
these portraits?
You can see immediately on the inside, Eliana the First. You can see Sereth, Mara, Orsyth, Valen, Balestra the First, Norith, Salvera the First, Juthir, Salvera the Second, Calthea, Vorus, Salvera the Third, Eliana the Second, Balestra the Second, Theriel, Eliana the Third, Elenth, Morsera, Vetira, and then finally closest to the fireplace, but not above it where the blank canvas is, Eliana the Fourth.
Succession.
I look at Fortuna.
It looks like everyone before. This one was the first one then, so
I look towards our other relatives.
made the deal with you-know-who.
And Fortuna will kind of follow Solovita's gaze, and she'll be kind of looking at everything. And I'm wondering if I might be able to do like a nobility spend to see if there's anyone missing, does this follow what I already knew from kind of our genealogy family tree, or is anything different here?
No spend necessary. No spend necessary. I would say between your and Solovita's like forgotten lore, like your ranks and nobility, I think that you would be able to see that these are all of the matriarchs within your family. And there is a blank canvas at the far end. You can see that there's also furniture. There's like pretty standard, sets of furniture, like you can see like a chaise lounge and a couple chairs and a few like pedestal tables and such that have been gathered in an array in front of the fireplace, just a sitting room. But the room is stretched fairly long with all of these different portraits.
This does match, and while we don't have the crowd here, Fortuna is still kind of making sure that she is acting the part here of kind of paying respects sort of at each one and all of that. And so that's what she'll kind of be examining those and almost doing a little explaining to Altavira, as it were, like not that it's needed, but almost like she's running through. She definitely has all of the family trees memorized, maybe a little better than Altavira does.
It doesn't appear Altavira is paying particularly close attention to you. She has pushed past Vincent, and you can see she stands now at the fireplace looking up at the empty canvas. Okay, so Chauncey, what are you doing? Like, what do you think you're doing in this room?
Oh, God. Just no. Like, he has some hint of what's going to happen here, and he's just no. I joked in chat, like he's thinking to himself, please don't drink my blood. Please just, whose blood needs to be drunk? Please don't. Do we all have to give blood? I don't give blood. Is there a chalice here? Is there a chalice or a knife that we have to put my blood into? I really hope not. But he's doing his best to keep a calm face, but secretly he's like, oh shit, there's going to be some blood magic. He's freaking out, but he's just trying very hard to like.
Okay. All right. Vincent, what are you doing in this situation?
Relax, Chauncey. If there's sorcery bouts, I'll make sure it doesn't harm you.
Why would that make me relax? I'm so sorry. No offense. Love you, Vincent. So happy to see you again.
And then I'll walk around the chamber, see if there's any markings, anything significant that can inform me.
Okay. Do you, is there a particular investigative ability you think you would be relying on in this situation as you move about?
Let's see. either sorcery or forgotten lore, maybe.
Okay. What you notice as you start, this isn't a spend. What you do notice is there are statues. There are these busts. These are funerary statues. You can see each one of these matches the portrait that's hanging above it, and they're fairly large, and they're certainly heavy, and they're wonderful likenesses. And you can see that Eliana the Force, who's the only matriarch that you've ever known, like hers is perfect. Like the features that she has on the portrait perfectly match the features that she has on the bust. You do notice, though, Vincent, something very odd, especially as you're starting to sort of reach out for sorcery. All of their eyes are following you as you move around the room, every single one. And when you look up at the portraits, you can see them staring down at you. Some, you can see like their brows kind of furrow, like as if they're very like they're judging you. Others, you could see like raising an eyebrow. And you can see they all seem to be like their facial expressions are shifting and moving. The busts themselves are staying inert, but the portraits do seem to move.
I'd be getting a bit dizzy from looking back and forth and seeing all the scowls at me. And I'd push a bit more further and away from them.
Okay. You can see Pelletier has sat down on one of the chase lounges. He's like, oh, well,
What a wonderful space this is. Oh, it's just it's a wonderful seeing all of our family here, just arrayed in such a,
and has no clue about what you just saw. But he's just sitting there, very happy to be there. And he pulls from his jacket what appears to be a bottle of wine and corks it and just starts taking a few sips.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
I'm gonna go sit next to him.
He kind of holds up to Eliana. You were a wonderful matriarch. May you rest peacefully in paradise.
And then takes a drink.
So well said. Thank you.
Oh, Arkadiy, here you go. Here, take a sip.
Yeah. I just thought of something. As much as like the whole grandma skin book thing is, maybe I see if I can find the picture of that one to see if I can put a face to the book.
Oh, would you like to borrow my book, Arkadiy?
No.
Here, you can touch it.
I know her name. I just want to see if I can find the picture. I don't want to hold the. Thank you for sharing.
Look at the lovely book.
You don't find because she wasn't a matriarch, and so you notice as you move around, like no, every one of the pictures in here, every one of the names it's the line of matriarchs of your family back to the origins of the Main Wallen family and how it was established within the city of Eversink, going all the way back to the beginning. you take the bottle and take a very long swig.
So there's two of them that I want to talk to. Solavita will kind of go up to Eliana the second.
Okay.
The funerary statue, sorry, not the painting.
Okay.
Because
they're right underneath each other. There's like there's the portrait and then there's the statue underneath it.
And she will be holding her skin book. Because she does have statuary, which means she can actually just talk to the statues.
Absolutely.
So and Eliana the second is whom Chauncey is trying to find. That is who was alive when this book would have been alive.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
It would be easy enough to find. Okay. And so you're speaking to the statue, you say?
Yes.
Okay. Are you willing to make like a spend here?
I am happy to spend like a corruption would probably make the most sense.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, I would say both you and Vincent, you're definitely getting vibes that this is a place of corruption. And you also, I would say, like, to the degree to which you all can just innately sense it, the two of you can innately sense a corrupted area without truly spending, like just sort of like a passive, odd feeling. You've been getting that in abundance since the lights went out. And so Levita, you hear a voice, and it starts almost like a hiss, like a say.
What is you want? Complete the ritual.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you, how do you know what the ritual, what we need to do, what the speak, call, feast? Can you pretend like I'm very dumb?
You can
Pretend like I'm Sasilar. You'll know.
Okay. Okay. You notice that there's a bit of like an eye roll almost. Like it's not so much in the statue, which again remains inert, but you can see the
I
portrait.
sense it.
Yeah. You kind of feel someone rolling their eyes. And they kind of whisper,
look at the busts, you stupid child.
Fortuna, maybe inspect some of the busts.
And then she will kind of lean towards Eliana the second again.
When you were alive, you dealt with Sasilar, and you closed off the bottom section of the house where we had a lot of the Borda stuff. Did you stop it, or did it go after you?
Stop what?
The experimentations down below that Sasilar was doing, that you hid them from the church for.
Casilar was his name.
Yes.
You stupid child.
I've only read it. Yes, I'm very dumb.
and she says, you can almost feel like a harumph, like a
no. It was just better hidden. Whatever is needed to secure the family lineage in our position of power continues. That is the charge of every matriarch. But do not worry, child. That is a charge you will never be given.
Yes. Hoping my aunt will do it. Okay. Bye.
And she's going to kind of go over to Fortuna and whisper everything that she just kind of learned and heard from the statue. And also Vincent and Chauncey, if Chauncey was willing to get within a foot of her.
And
Chauncey, no, you have to come back here. Chauncey, no, you have to listen.
No, it's talking to you. You talk to the things, and the things talk to you. It would be so
Vincent
rude
talks
for me
to spirits.
Yeah,
Chauncey,
yes, of
Chauncey.
course. But I don't.
Chauncey, so Levita's busy doing her thing. I need young eyes.
Okay. Yes.
And
What's that? You need my eyes?
Fortuna needs me.
Okay. Well, of course, Arkadiy, you go right ahead. You assist her as you see fit.
Though he pulls you close.
My spirits, though.
He pulls you close and he says, kind of out of earshot,
Now, do be very careful there, Arkadiy. Fortuna has, well, I'm afraid to say her position in the family is somewhat in question this eve, if you understand my meaning. Take my advice and remain flexible in your decision making. Yes.
Why, dear uncle, Flexible is my maiden name.
Is it now? Oh, that's fascinating. I did Arkadiy Flexible. Is that a regional dialect?
Yes. Yes, it is.
How very interesting. I had no idea. I thought Lou's Wreck had a more guttural kind of sound to it, but no, it's a quite poetic. Flexible. How interesting. Well, I wonder if it's a translation.
Only in the lesson names, they present the guttural, but they reserve.
Chauncey, will you get over here? Fortuna just sort of like
I just
Don't ever
want
give me an
to.
opportunity. Don't ever give me an opportunity to roleplay Pelletier with Chauncey because I feel like it's way too much fun.
Just
Okay.
promise you're not going to drink my blood.
I have no idea what this evening holds. Just help me look at these. And so,
Okay.
Fortuna and Chauncey will kind of circle kind of each
Okay.
one and see what we see.
Either of you have vigilance?
Nope.
I just gave up my vigilance because I wanted extra
Wow.
spot frailty. Damn.
I'll give you
still
spot
put on a
frailty
good
for this.
face. Hello,
I would say with-
aunties and great aunties.
Okay. What I would
I've
what I
got
would
lots
say.
of nobility if that helps me at all.
No, this is less about like noble lineage and more
Yeah,
just about pure
yeah.
observational stuff. I think spot
Okay.
frailty is fine. One of the things you would notice being directed to do that is that there is something quite off about, like, although the visages of the statues are very similar in terms of like the brow, the eyes, the nose, you do notice that each one of them, like there's something odd about the mouth, and you can see not a single one of them, their mouths just like a tiny, like none of them, their lips are never like tight. You can see that there's a small bit of a gap between the upper lip and the bottom lip. And Fortuna, as you peek, you notice that like each one of their mouths is like it's almost hollow, as you realize it's like cavernous in some particular way. And when you peek inside, you realize like it's literally like a head. You can see a row of teeth. You can see like gums. You can see the interior of the mouth itself. The one thing you see that's missing is the tongue. You can see that none of these heads have tongues.
And Fortuna, she sort of has these glasses that she holds up. Chauncey, get your younger eyes than mine. Get your eyes right in there. There's no tongue, right? There, you see teeth, you see gums, and there's no tongue, right?
Why would you expect for this bust to have a tongue? Why does it have teeth? Why is its mouth open? Why? Oh God! Do you have to feed it your blood?
Just okay. So it has no. Let's look at the next one and make sure that that's the same.
Do I have to let the statue bite me?
Bless your young eyes.
I think you have to kiss it. Try kissing it, Chauncey.
And Fortuna like whips around to Solavita, and it's that ant face of not the time, not the place.
Okay,
And you've grown up with this
Oh.
face. You know
Yeah.
it.
She will position herself properly, sit down, and quietly wait.
Okay, look,
Yeah.
I'm terribly
hell.
sorry. I don't see. It's very strange. These are some very strange busts. I don't really know much about that. I think you're completely right in all of your observations.
Thank you for the eyes. And Fortuna will kind of turn to Vincent. Vincent, with your and she kind of walks a little closer to you and kind of whispers, with your spirit sight. Are you
What about it?
Are you in conversation or visual connection with anyone here?
I see blurs about, but I've not connected.
Do you see? Interesting. So, okay. And so then she'll kind of move everyone, the four of us together a bit. So the busts don't have tongues, and the instruction is speak.
Yes, speak, call, feast. So maybe try speaking their names in order, or maybe we put paper in their mouths so they have a simulacrum of a tongue. I'm not sure. Maybe chains. Vincent, you think chains is something?
Definitely enduring chains. But is this all to the hallway? Is there more?
This is it.
Well,
Bunch
okay.
of portraits. Fortuna, you notice this is true of like every head, every bust, including Eliana the Fourth. The other thing you all notice at this point, Altavera is no longer in the room.
Is Pelletier still in the room?
Oh yeah, he is drinking up a storm on the lounge next to Solavita. Like, oh yes, oh, this is a wonderful vintage.
Last saw her over here. One at the empty portrait.
Yeah, can I use City Secrets to see if the fireplace is a door?
You would be able to, as you mess around with it, kind of like push on different sections and try to twist certain like this or that. It doesn't seem to open up. It does not seem to be a hidden way out. No.
Okay.
Fortuna would go back into the bedchamber.
Okay.
And just Altavera.
Step back into the chamber. It's empty, save Eliana, because you shoot everybody else out, and you don't see anybody.
Is there anyone just outside the door?
Peek down the hall. There's like maybe a house guard or two that's just sort of by the staircase down the hall that goes down to the noble floor where all of your guests were rounded up.
Yes. Have you seen? So she'll speak to the guard there. Have you seen Altavera?
You rush out. Yes, Mr. Fortuna. Yes, she come by a few moments ago. She was in a hurry. She did not go down. No, we told her that the guests are getting very distressed, but she said she had business to attend to. She said, and they look around and they say, I beg your pardon, Mr. Fortuna. Is Miss Altavera? Is she well? She looked injured. She was she had blood on her hands.
I demand that you tell me at once. Where did she go?
They just point kind of down the hall, and you can see the hall extends. And as you look, you kind of get a little dizzy about how long the hall extends. But just kind of all the way down to the other side of the estate, this like long branching hall that connects to various bedrooms and things like that on the second floor of the estate.
Just as you were, and so and Fortuna will kind of go back to Solavita and Chauncey and Vincent. How did we missed her leaving? The guard said that he saw her mere moments ago with blood on her hands.
Oh.
Do any of the statues have blood on the mouth?
They do not, no.
Is there blood anywhere around the portrait fireplace or anywhere? I would start there, but go out.
You don't see any blood in this portrait room.
He said she went down the hallway. I assume we should attempt to follow her.
Oh, and leave this place. Of course, I agree with you.
You don't want to kiss any statues? She side-eyes Fortuna while
Fortuna.
she makes it.
Let us follow.
If I kiss the statue, can we leave?
Yes, if you kiss the statue, we can
We're leaving.
Oh.
No, we're leaving now.
Okay.
And Fortuna just grabs them.
Would anything come of spending a point of ridiculous luck and kissing one of the statues?
Would anything come from it?
I don't know. Is it worth a spend? Because I think it would be funny to do it, and then if not, he'll just do it.
I can't really think of a logical way.
He'll just do it, and if you feel like there's something that would,
okay. Here's what I'll say. Okay, if you want to spend it, here's what I'll say. You can. You feel. Oh God, this is so gross. But you feel a tongue extend, and sort of inside of your own mouth, and it's bloody. And so when you pull back from the statue, everyone looks at you, and it looks like he's got like blood smothered around his mouth.
What did you do? What?
I kissed it, and it kissed me back, and it has a tongue. You just can't see it. And the tongue is blood or something, and it was in my mouth. No.
Get yourself together. Get yourself. And Fortuna is.
It was horrible. I don't want to be here anymore.
And Fortuna's actually curious about this. So she sort of waves Chauncey, kind of that shushing sort of wave. But Fortuna's going to go up to one of the busts and ask a question.
Oh no! Did I start something?
Please don't
No.
with the bust
No.
of your grandmother and great grandmother and great great grand. Please don't do that.
No, but she gets.
Oh god!
She him saying then she thinks speak. So then she's gonna go to one of the busts and sort of ask a question, like who kind of like a who should be next kind of a question, just to see if this is what speak meant.
You don't have statuary as a sorcery sphere like Solovita does, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure how I don't think the bust would communicate with you the way that it would with Solovita.
Fortuna, if you want, I can ask it the question for you. Okay, what question?
I would say before you go making any spins, Chauncey, as you wipe your mouth off, the only this was Eliana the Fourth's that you kissed, and her mouth is bloody, and you felt a tongue inside of your mouth, and you can see that none of the busts here have tongues. It might occur to you, Chauncey, to check Eliana's body. Not just the bust in here.
We should check Eliana's body. I don't know why. I have all these bad thoughts in my head right now. I don't like this.
And Fortuna kind of does the thing where she kind of comes up kind of behind him and kind of squeezes his ear. And why did you kiss it?
It was going to be funny, and I thought we would leave if I did it, and we would all laugh. It would be a joke, and then he kissed me, and it had a tongue, and the tongue was blood, and then I had thoughts in my head, and the thoughts said check on his tongue, and I don't know why that thought is in my head, because it's not really my thought, because I don't think about things like that. Can we just go do it and be done?
And she just sort of squeezes the ear again and just says, but you have a good idea. We should check the body.
Of course, I'm very smart.
As you go back and you check Eliana's body, you see that somebody has carved away at the mouth and the throat and has removed the tongue from Eliana the Fourth.
Oh, that disgusting bitch.
Bloody hands. Alta, the shame. And Fortuna's, she kind of walks with a cane at this point, but she is very kind of adamant at this. We down the hall. We must.
Think she put the tongue in her mouth?
I'm not answering these questions. We must follow her. And Fortuna's waddling down the hallway.
Okay. As you do so, as you leave the room, you hear a chime suddenly ring out somewhere on the grounds, which is especially peculiar to all of you, since you have no chapel, and you have no chime, and you have no bell tower. Yet one has rung out across the entirety, to the point where, if you pass by windows, it kind of shakes the glass a little bit with great loudness. Are you all moving, or is Vincent following as well as Chauncey? Are you all following Fortuna?
Yeah, I would have left the chambers.
Okay. as you approach those house guards, they kind of like, pardon me. The guests are becoming very unsettled. They are very upset. Some have tried to come up here. Some have tried to talk to you. They're very confused. They're very frightened. They are very unsettled. We don't know what to do. Miss Ottaviera, she is not here, and Mr. Pelletier, and you can see that Pelletier is not with you either. He's not here. Mr. John, your wife, she has tried, but they are still very unsettled. People calling out. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? They keep saying. And you do remember hearing a lot of like shouts and like a scream and all that kind of stuff. And you are like on the second floor. You haven't seen anyone come up, but well, that's where we're at.
This maybe hopefully that a spend can do better than possibly my improv maybe, but Fortuna will kind of go to the top of the stairs and see what she can say to them, just to try to get everyone to kind of calm down, that this is the time to remember her. This is the time to think on the fortunes of the Mainwallen family. This is a time for reflection, and kind of command nobility.
That's a very nice, Vittorio says. As Vittorio Bonaventure, he kind of steps up. You can see like his sons Tommaso and Fabrizio are kind of flanking him. Like, but this is not the time for games or for sorcery. Why can't we leave? Or why are you keeping us here? What is this? What is the meaning of this?
It's a family tradition, and we ask that you adhere to, right, Fortuna? It's a family tradition that they have to adhere to?
Yeah. Yes. And
Arturo Lamasso, who is a retired City Watch official, and there are City Watch here. I'm sorry, but this is most untoward. You cannot keep people locked up inside of your home. You must let us go. I'm very sorry for your loss, but you cannot keep people here. There is no. This is not right. If you need time, your family, please, yes, but there's no reason to keep us here. This is very odd behavior, and you can see like Father Macaulay, and there's like some of these inquisitors that are coming up as well, and they're all kind of at the base of this stair, and you're looking down from the balcony into this large noble room, and they're just kind of staring up at you. By the right of Denari, you should not keep us here. We have given her the last rites. We have delivered them as is custom. Now you shall let us free, or we shall consider ourselves abducted. There are laws against this, yes, that supersede whatever family ritual it is you seem to be engaging in.
Fortuna would like to ask Vincent. Vincent, can you sneak down and see what it is that they're speaking of? Because Fortuna is curious, sort of like by what mechanism sort of is everyone unable to leave at this point? Like what exactly that was. So she's wondering if that's something that Vincent can sort of look at. What exactly is preventing?
Yes, they're free to leave, but they're saying something's keeping them. I'll check it out. And I'll go to find an exit, doors, balcony, window.
Okay. Do you stay up here, or do you look out there, or do you look for one up here on the second floor, or do you go down to where they are at?
Look for the nearest one up here. I don't have to go down where they are.
You find a balcony, and like a set of like these glass doors, and you realize like you're looking at them, it looks very frosted, right? But you're able to push them open onto the back of your estate, and it does not resemble the grounds on which you have spent time. Now, obviously, Vincent, you haven't spent a ton of time here, especially recently, but you can see that the maze garden is there, but overgrown and kind of well off to the left. But you can see there's these large, tall, hanging gardens that you have no recollection of whatsoever. You can see that there is some kind of chapel off to sort of the northeast along the water. And you can see there is sort of a bell tower sticking up from it. It's a separate annex. And you can see that there's these like crisscrossing, completely incongruous, like covered walkways that seem to be cording through different areas of your enormous yard. And then it's nighttime, and you can't see there's no stars, there's no moon. It just seems like this vague kind of cloud cover above you.
I'll go report back. Fortuna, this our home. It's not where it's supposed to be. We're somewhere else.
We are hearing bells that do not match anything that we have in our home. This hallway is much longer than
Go find Altavia. You deal with that. Deal with the horrible tongue business. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize to you. I will confess I am not a man that has lived his whole life by virtue, and yet I find myself in this trying period watching the passing of the woman who means so much. And doesn't it test us all? Isn't this sort of a moment the thing that brings us together as a whole beyond our mere mortal understanding of what we are? Look at the Bonaventures that are here. Some would say our greatest rivals, but who else are we truly closer to?
You hear someone like,
rivals.
Rivals? You are no rivals of us. I have outlived her.
You have. You've won, old man, and yet I say to you, doesn't that make us closer than we ever could have been before? And I know it's terrible that it happens in these circumstances, but I finally see it. I see how important you are, and I hear the concerns of this beloved and reputable lady of the City Watch. Yes, I hear it, and I understand it. And yet I don't understand it, and I simply have to beg for your grace and your understanding. And I want to say that I love you and I respect you. I respect all of you. Thank you for being here.
Are you doing some sort of spend here to try to sway them? What are you thinking?
I mean, potentially charm or trustworthy, maybe?
Either one of those would be fine. Yeah.
I'll maybe go charm.
Okay. As you say such nice things about the Bonaventures, you can see that like Vittorio is very much wanting to continue to gloat about still living. And you can see Tommaso and Fabrizio trying to quiet him down. So Juliana, who is like Fabrizio's wife, she'll like, you have very kind words, Chauncey. Very kind words indeed. You speak very, very kindly of our family. We, of course, will remain here, yes, but it is quite peculiar that you would invite us here to say farewell to your dear beloved matriarch. But why have you run chained to the doors and preventing us from leaving? Seems...
I don't even understand. There are things that are beyond us. We know that we live in a world of magic. We know that gods exist. We know there are things beyond our ken. And I am a very simple man, and I have to admit that in this moment. And I hate to admit my own frailty. I hate to admit my own weakness, but I confess it before all of you. Look upon me. I am so small in this great world and in front of these great acts, and I beg you.
The Inquisitors
I beg you.
are like,
Fortuna's grabbing his elbow.
Admitting to
No,
you and your family engaging in sorcery to keep these people within your home.
Of course not. Of course not.
I don't understand what's going on.
He is. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your goodwill to our family on this day. And she kind of takes Chauncey by the elbow. You are right. You are right. We should go. Thank you much. It was helpful until it stopped being helpful. Thank you. Let us. And we're kind of going down the hallway.
Okay, so that will buy you goodwill for a little while, but only for so long. But it'll buy you some goodwill for now.
Though. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we got confirmation that it was chains on the doors.
That's what they said.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Down the hallway? Yes. The guard said that is
Okay.
where Altavira went, just down the hallway, so let us follow.
Okay. Oops, that was the wrong button. So you head down the hall, and you're looking for any signs of Altavira. You're not seeing them. You are noticing, especially Solavita would be most aware of this. You would notice that like there's a clear difference in terms of the layout of this place. Like there's hallways that are crisscrossing that you've never seen. There's doors that open up into rooms that you've not seen before. There's architecture that seems outdated and blended with other movements that seem disparate in ways that even your family hasn't been so bold and brazen to attempt. You find at the far end of this hall an exterior door that you see goes out into what looks like a stair that goes down to the ground floor of the exterior, and you can see that it's one of those kind of walled halls, and that seems to connect and crisscross around the grounds. And you can see there's these vines and growths and other things on the walls themselves. Again, these are things that you don't have, and you see that as you look out the door, that this stair just goes down. What you do notice, though, as you peer down as well, is that there is a body laying on the ground, face down. And it seems to be wearing the main Wallen colors.
I will quickly scuttle up to it and roll it over, get the hand on the pulse point, check how alive it is.
Okay. You roll it over, and you see that you don't even have to check the pulse point, as half of the head seems to have been kind of ripped to shreds. And you would recognize, I don't know if Solavita would recognize this person, as you've intentionally kept yourself separate, but Fortuna would. This is one of your new finds. This is one of the people over the last 5 years or so that you've brought back in by the name of Cosimo Mainwallen. At least that's what the name that he took when he joined the family. He was just some silk vendor. Like he would sell fabrics in Temple Market District, and but apparently he is the bastard son of a bastard son, and somehow the blood of the Mainwallens still is in him, although thinned. And you brought him into, and he lays here now with his head kind of half ripped open, very clearly dead.
And Fortuna will gasp. That is cousin Cosimo. What? This is just, and this looked like it just happened.
The blood is very fresh. You can tell it looks like it hasn't had a chance to dry now.
Can I tell if this was like weapon damage, implosion, explosion?
Yeah. Leechcraft, you don't have to spend. Leechcraft, you can very clearly tell that it was like a brute force kind of deal. It doesn't look like it was any kind of clean cut. It looks instead like the skull was either like crushed or like kind of torn, and you can see that half of the brains are missing, and the blood itself has spilled out as well.
Oh, you're gonna love this when I tell this to you. So you guys know when you have an apple and there's some people that can twist and pull the apple apart with their hands? So somebody kind of did that to his head.
Oh, dear cousin, why?
It's a party trick.
But no, why would this? And do we? And Fortuna is looking around, and she doesn't have the vigilance, and I kind of flavored the change as if like her eyesight's going a little bit. But is there blood going in any direction or anything?
Yeah, I think this is fine. You could get this. Like, you do see it further down what this arcade, like this kind of this, and you hear the sounds like as you kind of peek down it, like as the wind gusts through it, it sounds like whales Like not wails like in the mammal, but like wails is in cries. Like just like and you see like this smothering of blood on the ground, on some of the stone, on some of the vines that are kind of growing up around you.
We should. Vincent, did you hear that too?
We should find Eliana, not Altavira, before whatever beast got to him gets to her.
Feel oddly like we should have brought Pelletier with us, and I don't think that like ever.
You know, if you need somebody to leave and go search for him, I
no.
volunteer.
No.
I would never deprive you of an adventure, Chauncey. I know how much you love being here with your family.
If I didn't love you so much, I would stab you.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one that got kissed tonight.
Oh, God. Shut up.
You hear the door that you came in, that you came out of to descend these stairs and get down into this and look at the body shut, like slam. And then you see a body start tumbling down the stairs and land at the base of it, like boom, 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 boom. And he just kind of lays unmoving for a second.
Oh, I will go check that one too.
You get up close and you realize, I'll say your leechcraft will carry over. This body appears to be, it's not well dressed. They appear to be like wet, damp in some ways. Their clothes themselves are kind of are ill-fitting in some ways, torn, stretched, stained. And you hear,
oh,
and it just rolls over and looks up at you. And you see this hand reach out and it kind of starts to grab at you. We're going to go into structured time at this point.
Oh dear.
As this thing is reaching for Solavita. Solavita, I think it makes most sense that you go first. So why don't you go ahead and say you take the first action here?
Oh, Vincent, I think this was one of your guys. And she's going to just like concentrate and her fists go into stone form and she's just going to punch straight down at him.
Okay, go right ahead. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just going to spend 2 on my sorcery for this test for 6 on a blast with a HP. Hit. Okay. Damage is 5.
Is that to hit?
Oh, no. I did a 6 to hit.
A 6 to hit. Okay. 6 to hit is good. 5 total damage.
Yes.
Okay. So you, as you take your stone fist, you smash down into it. You kind of hit it into the jaw. The jaw, you see, just rips. You see the tear in the cheek, and it starts hanging down to the side. But it's still.
And then I move back and go, Vincent.
Okay. Right, Vincent.
And I'll cook up my own little spell here, wave my hands around.
Okay.
Chains elongating, and give him a little smackaroo.
All right. Go for it.
We'll do 1 point spend.
Yeah.
Got a 5.
Okay, 5 absolutely hits. What's your damage?
It'll be towards morale. I did a 6.
Okay. You reach out, your chains kind of wrap around it. Or actually, no, it's not your chains. You're trying to satin it, right? Isn't that the idea?
I went for chains, but it's like morale, like binding, more of like making it give up and not being able to move.
So you whip around it, and you can see that it's just continuing to stand up, and it looks down. Looks up in your direction as if it pushes through your chains as if it has had no effect whatsoever. And you see it stumbles towards you.
Sorcery has no effect. Is Arkadiy around? Chauncey,
if you guys can stall for 40 more minutes, we get Aaron back. And you guys might be able to kill this thing.
But my punching it with HP damage, like there was a tangible difference.
You
Okay.
smashed its face. Like you ripped its cheek and its jaw. Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
think it
it's
might
just-
just be morale, or your type of magic, Vincent.
All right, Chauncey.
Oh God, Chauncey would just like. I think he would just do the barest grazing jab possible, and then
Okay.
step away as quickly as he can.
You're gonna step up and swing or something at it? Okay. Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
it's less that he's doing that. It's more like, yeah, honestly, it's probably not even jab. It's probably a thing where like when you kick at somebody's shin
Okay. okay. Okay.
while he's stepping backwards. No, get back on the ground, you trash vermin!
Okay.
I'm terribly sorry for what's happened to you. I rolled a 1.
Rolled a 1? Okay,
I rolled
yeah.
a 1. I just
You
probably
no.
fall on
kick
my
it.
own ass
Oh,
as
no.
I kick out.
You kick it, like you basically miss, which is shocking as this thing is moving fairly lumberingly in your direction. And you can see it's leaving like this water sludge trail. You notice
slip
that it
on
has,
obviously.
oh, of course. Okay, who would you like to go next?
Not it.
Okay.
Fortuna.
Okay, Fortuna.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It's gonna go
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what a time
So-
to roll a 1.
I am going to spend a point of so I want to do an investigative spend to get a +3.
Sure.
So I am going to roll in athletics with a +3.
What are you attempting to do here?
So you're going to see Fortuna, and she's, kind of going through kind of her attire that she's wearing, and kind of within the folds of everything that she has this Fleisa dagger, and so that's what she's kind of coming out to kind of stab at this thing.
Okay.
With her
Why are you
dagger.
rolling athletics and not warfare?
Oh, sorry. Either way, I have nothing to it, but I can roll it in combat with a +3. So like it doesn't matter which I do. Sorry.
Do you have any points in warfare?
No.
Okay, so I think there's this. If I recall, I always forget this. I think there's a special rule about warfare attacks and stuff.
I
Let me see if I can find. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? The thing that kind of pops up.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it as well. I totally do. It might just be under.
I got it.
It's a
I got it right
-2
here.
damage modifier.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if
You can
you have
still
no ranks in
attack,
Sphere
yeah.
Warfare, you can still attack with it, but you take a -2 damage modifier, and the GM chooses. Oh, and the GM chooses
And the
when
GM
you go.
chooses
in
when you
each
go. I would
round.
make you go last.
Oh,
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go. That's fine.
okay. So, okay. All right. So, sorry. I haven't rolled with the dagger in a very long time.
Just a D6. It's just a D6.
Okay.
Everything's just a D6.
And I spent the 3.
It's a D6
so-
plus 3.
And then -2 because I'm doing warfare.
That's for
without having a
damage. Just roll a D6 plus 3.
thing. 7.
Okay, 7 is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. So it would be a D6 -2.
Oh, sorry. I rolled a 4 both times. So I rolled the 7 to hit, and then I rolled the D6 for damage was a 4.
Okay. You come up, you stab into it, and like no blood's coming out. But you very clearly are hacking into this like bloated, like disgusting waterlogged skin and flesh. And you just stab and stab away. And you see chunks of flesh just start falling as you pull the dagger out and stab again and pull it out. And the chunks fall down, but it's just... And then it's going to go.
Yes.
As you can see, it's still going. And so I think it's going to... I'm going to play this as is written. So if I kill anybody, guys can't get mad at me. Let's see. There are 4 of you. Okay, it's gonna go for Chauncey. Okay, So Chauncey, you said you slipped and fell, so it's just going to kind of fall down on top of you. And I am going. Yeah, I am going to. I'm doing what it says. I'm going to spend its malice. Okay. All right. So I'm going to spend. Oh God. I'm going to spend some malice. I'm going to spend all its malice. Basically, that's what I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to roll my d6. Okay. As a 10. Is that a hit?
Yes.
Is a crit. Do you want to do anything right now to potentially increase your threshold to not make it a crit?
Considering just how much of an absolute coward Chauncey is. And I would think that this falls under 100%. And I know this is wasteful, but I think Chauncey desperately does not want to get bitten by whatever abomination this is.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend the 1 point spend to use my athletics dodge ability.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend all 8 rest. So I just have to not roll a 1.
Holy crap. Okay.
Chauncey desperately he doesn't know what this is. He doesn't get it. He doesn't want to get turned into whatever that thing is. Just no. All the no.
See the body on the ground that has its head ripped open and the brain's half spilling out. You might have some indication of what this thing is about to do to you. So you're gonna do your dodge, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay. So you, jeez. So you're spending how many points?
I have to spend 1 to activate it, and then I'll have a total of +8 afterwards. So I just need to roll a 2 or better.
All right. So you spend at least 1 point of athletics.
2 or better.
Okay. So you need to beat a 10. Yeah. You need to beat a 10. Yeah. You need to roll an 11.
Oh God. Okay. So I need to roll. It's still only 50. Oh God. I still need a 3 or better. That's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey.
I got my 3.
Goodness.
Just
right on the dot.
Yo.
Wow.
It falls on top of you, and you see it grabs your head, and it begins to effectively like rip your ear off. You feel it just tearing your ear off. Its mouth, which is kind of hanging free, reaches down and just starts to gnaw into your like your temple. You can feel your skin beginning to just rip away, and finally you manage to slide out from underneath it, and you scramble away. Next round.
I hate all of you so much.
Okay.
It goes
Next
again.
round. It goes again. The good news is that I don't have any more mounts because I spend all the mounts. You have no idea how bad that was going to be.
I was very paranoid about how bad that would be.
Good job.
Yeah.
Chauncey's going. I rolled another 1 on my D4, so he's going for Chauncey again. So he's going to continue after you. Okay. All right.
But he doesn't have any malice. So
yeah, so I can't. I basically can't do it. I'll just let you know what you saw of Kosovo was going to be Chauncey if he didn't pass that dodge test.
Oh yikes!
Okay,
good job spending all of that.
That's a 5 again. This one's just a flat 5. Like I rolled a total of a 5.
That's going to hit.
Okay, but a hit is way better than a crit. I can tell you that. Fixed damage for this guy. I don't roll damage for him. It's fixed damage of 6. So he does 6 points of damage to you as you scramble away. God. And maybe you get out from underneath him, and so he doesn't get to your head, but he just tears through like your torso and like down your hip, and you can just feel as his fingers seem to plug through your clothes and into your flesh and just rakes down the side. So that's 6 points minus armor if you have any armor.
Armor?
No.
What if I ever want armor? I need armor.
You go to a funeral at the main ones. I feel like you probably should wear armor. Chauncey, you can go next. I think would make sense.
Oh God. Oh God. I will just try to if there's some sort of we're on the ground rolling around. I assume there's some sort of decorative
There's a boss or something. Yeah, absolutely. There's some sort of planter that you can pick up. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just do my best. I'm going to spend every point of warfare I have just trying to roll with this thing as it's ripping my guts out to just shove its head into whatever that is and pull something down on top of it and just freak
love it.
out.
I love it. Absolutely. Go ahead and make your check.
Oh God. 8?
Nice.
8 is a crit. Roll your damage.
Okay.
This has a threshold of 3. So roll 2d6 plus 1.
Okay.
And then we got you.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay.
Off me.
You grab this planter, and do you just kind of smash it like onto his head, or do you smash
I
his
think
head into
initially
the
it's like
planter?
rolling around. It's more like rolling with it until I can get over into a spot and then just like.
You smash it down, and you just keep going and going. The rest of you are watching this. You just see, essentially, you see spurts of like this blackish, greenish, like blood and skin and viscera just start to explode as Chauncey completely and utterly deflates the head of whatever this creature was, and you see its legs kind of shimmy and then go limp, as it seems to be defeated.
I want to
Chauncey,
go home. I love you, Fortuna, but I want to go home.
it's dead. It's dead. It's okay.
You were doing well. You were doing well. You were doing. Hand, give me your hand, and Fortuna will help you up.
Okay, 3 refresh tokens from killing that thing, by the way.
Ooh.
Chauncey, you probably used the most there. I only pumped into sorcery. So you can use them to rebuff.
Chauncey, come here. Sit down on the ground for a little bit. Breathe with me a little bit. Hold on. Don't look. Look at me.
Oh God, that's my insides.
Yes. Hold on a second, and I'm going
It's a
to.
little tube. It's a big tube coming out of my belly.
I know. I'm going to fix it now for you, and I need you to keep your eyes up and not on yourself, and you need to concentrate on not passing out. Okay. All right. Here we go. How much, if you were to quantify it, would you say your HP made something like a number value 6?
Yeah.
You're down 6. Okay, then I'm going to use 2 bind wounds, which should bring you +6. There we go. And I'm going to essentially just...
Okay.
Just don't look, and she pulls out the little med kit that she grabbed from home. It's got needle and thread, and she kind of manages to disinfect it and just does a quick stitch up. You barely feel a thing.
Okay, you're done, and I'm going to wrap a bandage around it. Try not to itch it for the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
And Fortuna kind of comes up to Chauncey, kind of like looking over Solavita's shoulder and kind of nodding at the work that Solavita did. And Fortuna just sort of like looks Chauncey right in the eye. This family needs your bravery. You did well.
It does. I'm so brave.
Let us move forward. And she kind of helps him up and...
Okay, so you guys are in this like walled hall that's like open to the to your estate grounds. You can see in the distance in different ways. There's like these tall hanging gardens. You can see like there's the chapel. You can see the blood that has been smeared along the wall. You still hear the sounds of something kind of wailing in between as the wind weaves its way through this hall. You can see you can hear something. You can hear voices. And Cosimo lies dead. This, whatever this is, this body, this bloated, distended, disgusting corpse whose head is utterly smashed in, is no longer moving. What are we all doing? So Vincent, while Solavita and Fortuna were taking care of Chauncey, were you doing anything? Is there anything that you were up to?
Yeah, check out what that thrall we just encountered was. If it was possessed in any way, get an idea of what it is.
Okay. So is there a particular skill that you think you rely on, an ability you would rely on for this? For your
I think
assessment?
Spirit Sight gives me the ability to sense like curses or if it's possessed by anything.
Okay. You're fairly certain as you take a look at it, you see its body. You don't think it was necessarily like possessed per se, but you would think, judging from the look of it, that this was the dead risen, which likely was because somebody has used some kind of corruptive magic, some sort of necromantic magic to do so. But you don't think it was summoned, like you don't think there was like a consciousness, like a conscious spirit inside of it. It seemed more brainless and mindless in its movement. So that is something you'd be fairly confident in.
This thing was a mere soldier to somebody. Much more powerful than it. Keep your wits about.
Do you remember, you weren't attacked by them, I think, but the salt pirates from 5 years ago?
Told me about them. I met them myself.
Oh, fair. You are muted, Jeff.
Sorry. What other investigative abilities does Vincent have while you're looking at this body?
A felonious intent.
I don't think that would really apply here. Do you have any ranks of nobility or anything like that, or servility?
Oh, yeah. For social, I do have one in nobility.
Okay. You would recognize that the clothing on this individual is, even though it looks at first glance like it's soaked through and it's essentially rags and grime, it's definitely not the same type of clothing that you saw when you met those saltbound pirates, because you were on board the ship and you talked to them. This doesn't look like them. This doesn't look like a pirate. However, you do think the clothing actually looks like some of the kind of the old colorings that you might have seen in like paintings of the family, like old main wallen cuts. Like you can even see like maybe a small, like a bare insignia of like, it's like ripped in half of like the tree of the main wallen clan that's sort of soaked and disappeared. You think this might be somebody who either probably worked for you, because it doesn't look like they're dressed the way like you nobles would, but it looks like a high class or a high quality servant, more than likely.
Look closer, Fortuna. This outfit.
And Fortuna kind of gets out her glasses and looks. Oh yes, good eyes, cousin. That is our yes, that is our crest indeed. Yeah.
Just leans back, looks down the readers, does the crossword while you're at it. Okay.
Yes, right. Yes. And Fortuna kind of confirms that it is absolutely right that this would be someone in the main wall and employ.
Okay. So you guys are currently outside. You're along this like kind of open wall. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it well, but think of it like it's a walled path on one side and it's kind of open air on the other. You can see there's essentially like vines and things that have grown up it. You don't have this normally. You have a hedge maze on the other side of the estate, but you don't have this per se. And you know that this kind of weaves around, and Vincent, you've seen it kind of crisscrossing on your grounds. You've seen all these different like annexes and wings that you don't recall there ever being for your home that you can suddenly see that you're standing in. You see no signs of Althavira. You hear no more of these like zombies for all intents and purposes. You know that you've managed to assuage the frustration of your guests, who said that they were locked in with chains, but they are being patient with you for now. What would everybody be wanting to do? Like, what are you thinking about right now? Like, what is going through your characters' minds? Like, what do you think that your characters would be looking to do? Like, what is your goals right at this moment?
So Fortuna's thinking about how this should be laid out in the back here. trying to get her bearings a little bit, and she knows that it's different, and so it may not necessarily align, but she's thinking about what would be where in this sort of hedge maze and where she thinks Altavir might go. And so that's where she's, kind of thinking about of...
You're not a hedge maze. Hedge maze is on the other
through.
side. Hedge maze is something you're familiar with and it should be there. This is something different. Like this is like something completely wrong.
So like Fortuna's just kind of wandering. She's just sort of like trying to look forward and like we know Altavira came this way, so our goal is to try to find her.
Okay. Vincent, Solvita.
Yeah, I'd say going along the way would be I'd be picking up pieces, trying to learn if there's some sort of ritual going on here, what kind of magics, why, just like the intentions of who and why this is happening. Trying to, I guess, unlock.
Right.
Yeah.
Vincent, you can tell as you're walking down this hall, as these wails are continuing to just sort of assault your ears. You notice, like, hidden behind some of the ivy, there's these like black wax seals that are kind of, in some ways, like they're not. They're sort of embedded into a few pieces of the stone, and as you look at them, you kind of peel away at the wax. You just see, essentially, just looks like skulls. They just look like like there's like wax covering skulls within these intermittent stones here and there. And as you peel away that wax, and this is all very corruptive. This is like you can feel that sort of tingle, that passive tingle when you're around corruptive ground. And it is going haywire right now to the point where you're starting to feel a little nauseous from it. And as the next round of wailing comes, you see the mouth of the skull just suddenly open, and from it emits that wail.
I'd be wincing at the wails and just do my best to maybe cleanse the corruption that's happening around here.
Okay. Would you want to make a sorcery check on that?
Yeah, or even like a sorcery corruption spend.
If you want to make a spend, you can. I would say though, if you want to try to preserve your investigative ability points, you could just make a sorcery test.
Okay.
I would say probably a difficulty of 5, as you just kind of try to reach out and do what you can to peel back some of this.
I'll do 2 on the spend. Oh, I rolled a 1, so only 3 total.
Oh no.
Okay. I would say that you struggle to do anything to the entire grounds, but this one skull where you've peeled back the wax seal and kind of revealed the face, you can see, like, for a moment, like a flash of a face kind of grow over top of it. And like you can see what looks like just some average looking man, like nothing, doesn't look familiar, just looks like kind of a somewhat broken nose seems to emerge for a moment. And he just says, "Thank you, my lord." And then like he wails, and then you can see this sort of dissipates again. That kind of skin that grew briefly dissipates. Between the sort of the dead servant, the zombie servant attacking you, the addressing you as lord, like you start to see all these different skulls kind of appearing intermittently. Vincent, maybe you start to realize that intermittently these bricks, like built into them, are like the bones of servants from the past.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. Don't know what's going on here, but some freaky shit.
I sense your professional opinion.
I am so grateful that you have enlightened me that we are amidst freaky shit. I'm sorry, Vincent. I love you. It's been a day.
Chauncey, look, we are, for better or for worse, trapped here. So the only way to go home, the only way out is to go through. We got to figure this out so we can get out of here. Right? And There's a lot of wailing here. I wonder if this is like the part 2 we did the speak with the kissing of the tongue, and maybe now it's the call part.
You hear the sounds of that chime go off again
Shit.
in the distance.
Did you share that this was like the servants are built into the walls?
That's what it looks like. That's what Vincent thinks.
Oh, yeah.
From his, yeah.
I don't know. It would be better if it would be a call to using a rank of servility or charm or trustworthy. Look, all of you, I know you've given yourselves to such great service to such a great burden. I understand. We would love to have the ceremony completed. Perhaps once this transition is completed, you can rest again. You have served so well. You deserve to rest. Please. Help us get to the end so that we can complete this and you can go back to your rest that you so rightfully deserve. Thank you for your service, thoughts, and prayers. Get us to the end.
Okay. You want to make a servility spend? Is that what you're looking to do? Okay.
Nice.
Make it. Okay. So you hear like those wails that you've been healing, which just really seem kind of intermittent. There's no pattern to them. You actually start to hear a pattern form. And they don't really speak so much as just emit some kind of cry. And so it's one and then the other and then the other, as if it's kind of the sound is sort of leading you down this hall.
Chauncey, I believe you've done it. Yes.
Very
Thank you so very
empathetic.
much.
Yes.
And I'm so brave. And
Yes, you are. And remember, the way out is through.
Mm-hmm.
And Fortuna grabs Vincent's arm and he kind of is like moving forward, following the direction of the wailing.
It eventually weaves you around and you find yourselves at the steps up to this chapel where you've been hearing this chime come from. From the outside, it looks not unlike the type of chapel that you have seen on the Carnuccio grounds. If any of you actually attend Denari service, it's annexed, it's off to the side. It certainly is. It doesn't look as though it's like dilapidated, but it's certainly not well kept. It's not like falling apart by any stretch, but you can tell that it's sort of kind of coated or covered in a certain level of grime. You can see that like there's an overgrowth of this sort of dark viney vegetation, and the doors themselves, which go inside, like they appear like in place, but you notice like there is like this set of, from where you're standing, it just looks like this interwoven series of chains that seem to be blocking the door. And you can see that there are stained glass windows that it almost looks like you can't depict exactly what they're showing, as if it almost looks like someone put a puzzle together out of form. Like it just, there's that color over there, that color over there. Like none of it kind of makes sense. It seems disparate, and the light just seems out of sorts. But you above, there's the bell tower, and you kind of come up right as the last chime sounds, and then it settles.
I'd go up to the chains and rattle them. It's on mine.
When you grab them, Vincent, you watch as like one of the, because there's a few different ones. Okay. One of them just, it seems to merge with your hand, and it just begins to like wrap up your hand, not as if it's wrapping over top of your skin, but as if it's actually merging with your skin, like a tattoo is starting to wrap around and wrap around. And you just feel this thing just creeping up your arm until like you can almost feel it on your neck at this point.
Do anything physical to me, or is it more?
It does not, but you do feel like this heavy weight begin to sag on you. Like you feel your posture begin to dip, not because you feel like you're being physically pulled, but you just feel the weight of like age begin to wear on you. And you're actually going to take 5 points of morale damage as this, like you just feel yourself beginning to stoop over, and this length of life that you don't think you've actually lived, and like the guilt or the like the wear and tear of a long life, and one of imprisonment begins to like crush your spirit. Like maybe you start to weep, because I know that's the thing you do.
Yeah, I get a sense like I'm being restrained back in the cells, and it puts my morale to -1 actually. So I'll have to roll here.
You're -1? How did you get down to -1?
I only have 3
He
morale.
has a lot of HP
that's
and very
right.
little moral.
Really?
I forgot. I forgot that you did that. Okay, we need to do a check then.
Yep.
All right. So
Difficulty 4 morale test looks like.
Difficulty
Yikes.
4 morale. You can spend stuff if you want to try to get a boost on that.
Let's see. I can spend morale.
So you can spend morale to go lower to morale, just you don't want to exceed -5.
Yeah. So I'll spend 2 morale. Or +2.
Okay. I've rolled like 100 5s tonight. I just constantly am rolling
Really?
5s with D6s tonight. Yeah.
I rolled a 6, so I got 8 on the morale.
Nice.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Okay. So that is a success. And you do manage to kind of keep, like you almost feel like giving up and just kind of collapsing to the ground probably, but you manage to steel yourself in some way. The rest of you, as you're watching, you see it. Like you see it kind of it peels off, kind of starts to wrap up and around him, and you see his posture just begin to just dip.
This is no, and for Fortuna's, there's a little bit more flavor until someone else can come up. She has her cane, and she's just sort of like heading at it with the cane to see if she can get it to like wrap around that instead of him. So because she was kind of on his arm.
So you're gonna try to actually hit the chains themselves and see if you can kind of break them.
Yeah.
Are you hitting him or are you hitting the chains on the door?
The chain.
Okay. Give me like a warfare test or athletics.
Yeah.
That one's fine. It's not like a straight up attack, but like you're doing a physical expression.
Yeah. Like this isn't going to be like a sway thing. She doesn't think. So this will be so I will spend. I need to make a quick note for myself. I will do a +3 on this. 8.
Okay.
Rolled a 5.
You swing and smash down at the chains, and at first you're not sure if you're having any effect. Vincent, you actually kind of just feel as if, like, again, maybe back to the days of the prison when the guards would come down and just periodically, for reasons, just because they felt like it, they would beat you. And like you almost feel that to some degree. You hear the sounds of it, but then, Fortuna, you manage to kind of split and smash like the door handles that the chains are run through, and everything falls. And you just see the chains just fall to the ground. Vincent, you feel them just drag out of you, and you see the chains just fall down to the ground as well. And like you can feel your body just suddenly right itself, as if like the pressure and anxiety and stress and fear that you just felt with great intensity have suddenly lifted, as if they're just gone. And you look at your arm, that is no longer there.
Thank you, Fortuna. Just remind him of the darker days, but I'm okay.
Oh, and Fortuna is just sort of like hitting it with her cane, and she probably is sort of like continuing to kind of hit it with the cane, just to like make sure. And you're feeling good. You're feeling better.
Not better, not worse. Just okay.
Oh, okay. And she looks around to make sure that no one else touched anything. And so you said the door is now, the door handles are now.
You've knocked the handles off, so the chains are no longer keeping it in place.
So Fortuna's going to take the cane that she was like kind of hitting with the kind of the base of the cane. She kind of flips it over, so it's kind of the handle part of the cane, and she's kind of pulling the door open carefully with the cane.
Okay. When You peek inside. It's very dark, but there is some light coming down from above in these sort of mismatched angles. You can see there is, in the far distance, there is this warped altar. And you can see like there's one of the reasons there's more light than you would expect is that there's all these like cracked mirrors in different spots that just the little bit of light coming down from which you think is some kind of sconce or lantern or something lit high up into the on one of the walls. It's just kind of reflecting back and forth here and there. You can see the pews have been upturned. Some have been shattered and broken. There's murals along the walls as well. You can see like right inside the door and even right outside the door, now that you and Vincent are standing here, you can see there are these tiny little statues of cherubs. But when you look at them, they look kind of contorted and twisted. Like they don't look like the cute sort of baby looking vibe to them. They look like their faces are shifted. Like a couple of them have fangs and their bodies are kind of malshapen and malformed in some way. You also notice like there's something hanging from one of the rafters, just sort of swaying, this like dark silhouette. Meanwhile, Chauncey and Solavita, you guys have been hanging back a little bit further away, and you hear something shuffling and like the nearby brush sort of moving around. You look over and you can see that some of the vegetation that has grown up on that arcade that you just moved through, you can see like some of it's just sort of moving around. You don't hear any sounds of like, but you can definitely see something's moving around in the brush.
Oh, that's not good. No, down. Yes.
Definitely going to try to like stealth at this point.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and roll it. Do you want to like piggyback or something?
Do you want to work together, Chauncey, for stealth?
I mean, if we see a place that we obviously want to be, I could just do the thing where we just, or at least for me, I could just be someplace.
If you want to make like spends like that, you can. You can also just like roll a stealth check sometimes.
Yeah,
like
I just roll a stealth.
Sometimes you guys run out of points, and you guys make spends at times. I'm like, you can spend or you just make a stealth check.
I'm going to use 2 points of stealth to do a stealth check. Thank you.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Oh, balls.
Oh. Oh.
Wait,
Are you a
so
1
we're not doing
for
the
3?
piggyback thing?
You
No,
can do the
you don't
piggyback
want-
thing.
Oh,
well, the way piggybacking works technically. So if you guys are doing that, so let's reset this really fast. So
somebody takes the lead.
Yeah, someone essentially takes the lead, and then you also could do cooperation since it's just 2 of you. 2 PCs agree on who is the lead and who is assisting. The leader may spend any number of points from their pool, adding them to the roll. The assistant may spend any number of points from their pool. All but one of those points is applied to the roll. So if you want, we can say Chauncey is leading. Solavita, you spent 2 points. One
so
of
I
those
can spend
can be
2 and have a total of +3, basically.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll click +2, and then we'll add another one on top of it. So it would end up being a 7.
Excellent. So you see Solavita go one way, and she doesn't notice that brush seems to be rustling too. And so you quickly grab her, and like as like Fortuna and Vincent are in the doorway, like up the steps by the chapel, getting ready to go inside, the 2 of you duck behind what looks like a kind of like some sort of large statue of a figure that goes up maybe 10, 15 feet. It looks like a man that's kind of staring out at the horizon. And as the 2 of you are ducking down behind it, you see stepping out from each of those brushes, you see foxes. You can see that they just step out and they just look around. And they're looking, and then a third one pops out, and you can see 3 of them are just kind of standing there at the base of the stairs up at the chapel, like they're staring up at where Fortuna and Vincent are standing at the doorway, not doing anything, and they just kind of sit down.
Aw, it's our foxes.
Do we recognize those ones?
I don't know, but they might try to eat us, so fuck those foxes.
For some reason, I'm just remembering the start of one of the Jurassic Park movies where there's like a little girl that runs off and plays with a bunch of carnivorous, tiny, cute dinosaurs. I don't know what any of these words mean IRL, but
I think it was the second one. Was that Lost
probably
World?
Or the third.
No.
one.
I think that was the third one. Might have been the third one. Yeah, Alan. Or the raptor. He has the dream where the raptor looks at him in the plane. He's like, Alan. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So, Fortuna, you see something swaying in the dark. And I would say there's 3 foxes that I will say Fortuna and Vincent, maybe you don't notice, the 2 of you are right at the door. There's several steps down. You didn't necessarily see them. Chauncey and Solovita, you dove behind this big statue. Fortuna, as you're peering inside and you're seeing this thing sway, goes all the way to one side and then it kind of comes back to the other. And as it kind of gets back into the light, you can see what it is that's swaying. You see the body of a woman in her 40s, you think, dressed in decent noble attire. You can definitely see that there is, as it sways back and forth, it looks like somebody from your family. You can't quite make out the face, but you can see it wears the colors and the crest of your noble family. And you can see it just sort of swaying back and forth as if hung from somewhere very high up in the rafters. And we're going to go ahead and just end it there, I think. And we'll pick up on that next week.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Body swinging, weird foxes.
Right? I want to know if they're going to pet the foxes.
I'm sure that is going to go absolutely well.
Scritches? Fox scritches?
No.
We worked so hard to
anything else.
We worked so hard to rescue the foxes.
I'm catching a fox. Fuck you, fox.
You guys did really work really hard to rescue them.
We did.
We did.
You did
10 years ago, but I
said so.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't give a shit about those foxes right now.
You did spend a lot of bravery trying to rescue one.
That was then. This is now. Fuck them.
Oh, goodness gracious. Alan.
Oh my God.
Stupidest thing. It makes no sense. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this movie got weird.
They did get weird. They absolutely got weird. The Jurassic World ones, man. God, they bug me.
I haven't watched any of those.
I've watched them. Especially the second of the 2. I'm just like, what are we even doing? Like, what is even happening now? I don't get it.
No.
There was there was a death in the first of the Jurassic World ones. It just felt mean. Like one of the characters, the assistant, right?
PA or assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
I know exactly what you mean.
Right? Isn't that so? Yeah. It was like the meanest death.
Yeah.
It's one thing to kill her, but the way they killed her, it's just like, come on. All she did was keep an eye out for 2 kids that she's got no real attachment to.
Yep.
Whatever.
Oh,
and they made women run in high heels as if the T-Rex wouldn't be able to catch them.
Yeah.
That was
so
dumb.
Crazy. Yeah. Anyhow, I don't know how we started talking about Jurassic Park, but here we are.
But yeah, I think it's the third movie where there's like a bunch of those little guys that I forget the name of that go up to the family decide to have a picnic on the beach in a random island, and it's Jurassic Island or whatever.
They're in the second one too, because when they're doing like the hunting party, like the one guy who's got his headphones on and is like not paying attention, he like gets caught behind, and they're the ones that all kind of surround him and eat him. So I know they're in the second one too.
Fair enough.
But I don't know if the little girl part was from the third or the second.
I think it's the third one, because I think it's the one with the boat where everybody gets eaten and there's like the hand hanging off the steering wheel shot at the...
Yeah. Isn't the third one the one where... Is that the one where the plane crashes with the kid in it? And that's why they go to the island, is to rescue the kid.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
I can't believe Long's involved in this conversation.
I mean, I've seen the movie
with knowledge. I'm so freaking excited. We found
a movie Long has seen.
He's been watching movies lately. I'm so excited that Long has suddenly started watching movies. We're going to be able to talk about so many new things now.
That's true.
Great. All right, let's get on out of here. Let's do some close-up plugs. We'll get on out of here. Aaron's not here, but go check out Guard Blood Games. He plays some games over there as well, including Thursday afternoons or afternoons for us anyway, where he plays some other escapes. So give them a look. Also, our buddy Steven has been making a game. It's called Huckleberry RPG. Or Huckleberry role-playing game, or Huckleberry, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Huckleberry, a Weird West RPG is what it's called. It's right there on the cover. But go to huckleberryrpg.com and you can get a copy of it. And this weekend, if you want to check out the Norse Foundry Twitch chat, Norse Foundry is what many of us are. We use their dice because they're awesome and they're friends of ours. But they're doing an Extra Life thing, and we're going to be on it Sunday morning. And Steven is requiring me to run Huckleberry, or he's going to get all diva-like and he's going to stop playing games. So he's like, I'm not going to play any of your games. I'm not going to play Call of Cthulhu. I'm not going to run Magnus. I'm out, man. I'm out. You better run it. And so I guess I have to run it now. So I'm running some Huckleberry Sunday. So come check that out. Be fun. As for the rest of our streams tomorrow night, Magnus Archives, only because I agreed to run on Sunday because he was holding out. Saturday, Call of Cthulhu with Steven. In with Long, in with Melissa. Monday we're still we're still on break, but we'll be back. Tuesday we see Kipser running through some Perils and Princesses, and next Thursday we'll be back for more Swords of the Serpentine. And that's it for us. Let's raid someone. Let's raid some Insomnia Night RPG. They're doing weird stuff, so let's go there. All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see y'all later.
Bye. Arrivederci.